סיפייך אבני ושערייך ערים ויסתיך סביב סביב בספירים ושמתי כת חוד שמשותייך מירים ובני הראש כשמנים אלי אליהו אלי אליהו אלי אליהו הנביא הבינה אלי אליהו אלי אליהו אלי אליהו הנביא הבינה.
Welcome everybody to our Shalvah time, our time of equanimity for today. And today we're going to be singing this piyut from another medieval poet and rabbi, even more famous perhaps than the one from last week, Rabbi Avraham ibn Ezra from the 12th century. And this is the Ibn Ezra that if you look at Torah commentaries and they mention an Ibn Ezra, this is the one. Avraham ibn Ezra wrote an entire commentary to the Torah, and he's well known for being in some ways very philosophical. He was a philosopher as well as a poet, and he often hints at meanings in the Torah that are a little maybe outside of the orthodoxy of his time, and people who came later, like Spinoza, would refer back to Ibn Ezra to say, well, you know, the things I'm saying are not so radical because even Ibn Ezra hinted at them in his commentaries. He was famous for, in his commentaries, talking about a line of Torah and then saying, Hamevin Yavin, the one who understands, people who are truly insightful will understand my meaning, as he was hinting at things that were somewhat radical. But in his poetry, he expressed a lot of longing, and this poem in particular, Eli Eliyahu, was a poem of longing that traditionally was recited in many communities, especially in the Sephardi tradition, at the end of Shabbat, at the close of Shabbat, around Havdalah, at a time when we talk about Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet. People sing this piyut, this poem, as a way of expressing their longing for redemption. And it is at that time, at the end of Shabbat, that we're filled with this longing that maybe there will come a day that is kulo Shabbat, that is completely Shabbat. And Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, is the symbol of it. So the poem opens in what Nina just sang so beautifully with these quotes. These are sort of reworked quotations from the book of Isaiah about God's promises to Israel at a time when they are in a bad situation, that one day God is going to create for them a home that is going to be not only beautiful but safe, in talking about building doors and gates and foundations of sapphires and battlements of rubies, not only safe, but also where people will have their needs met, so that when it says your children will be filled to bursting with rich food, that's again a quote from a different part of the book of Isaiah about a time of great sufficiency, which is not normal state of people, especially when they're struggling. So the chorus is Eli Eliyahu calling to Elijah the prophet, calling that name, but the appeal is really to God, to say, please God, bring Elijah the prophet to us, because we know that Elijah the prophet is the harbinger of the Mashiach, of the Messiah, of a complete change in our times, a change of the entire world. And then in the stanzas, it imagines, in the first stanza, it imagines, what is Elijah doing? What is he doing during all this time when he has not yet been called? He's working to look after his people, the people Israel, and he's never resting, always ready to try to intervene. And we know that Elijah is said to come at all these moments in our lives, like when a baby is born, at the end of Shabbat, at, of course, our Passover Seders, at time when people are looking to the future and looking for hope, that Elijah comes to hearten the people at that time. So he's not resting, he's not sleeping, he's always working for us. And then the poet says he's reflecting about the pain of seeing the comparison between the state, his own state, and the state of the people he uses as enemies, those who are fat and healthy and grazing. And this is actually a reference to, in the Torah, the story of Pharaoh's dreams. When Pharaoh dreams about the skinny cows and the fat cows, and this is the imagery that the poet is drawing on to compare his state and the state of his people with other people. And then he calls out to God, calling God the rock, to give bitter water to his enemies, while he raises his eyes to the Holy One of Israel, that is his salvation. And then he cries out, when will you show a sign of redemption to all the people who are crying out, when they raise up their voices to you and weep? And this is a cry that we hear throughout Jewish history, that we have a promise that God will help us, that God will save us. And when is it going to happen? When we're in distress, like we're in distress now? When is our salvation going to come? And the hard time that we're in of not knowing the future, not knowing what's going to happen, that's exactly the kind of time that this verse is speaking to, where we don't know the future and we're hoping for redemption, we're hoping for healing, we're hoping for salvation. And then the last verse is maybe the most self-referential. If you look down the side in the Hebrew, you'll see that the bolded letters spell out, if you read Hebrew, the name of the author, Avraham, the Aleph, Bet, Resh, He, and Mem. And then the last verse calls out to the angel of deliverance to come before him. And it says, please, O Lord, call to Abraham, please. Of course, he's referring to himself as saying, give me a sign that you can lift me up as someone named Abraham, and also referring to a rabbinic teaching that says that at the end of times, when the Messiah comes, when the world is transformed, that God is going to call to our ancestors. God is going to call to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they are going to come in a procession to lead and usher in this time of transformation, so that just like Elijah, that our ancestors all are also waiting to come and hearten us. And at Sukkot, we invite them into our sukkah and say each one of them has a message for us, a message of hope and comfort. And so the poet, Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, is referring to them too, and saying not only Elijah, but all these characters from the Tanakh that we hope will bring a message. Please let them all come now. Let them hearten us. And we thought it was a really good idea to bring this piyut to all of you, not just because we're in a difficult time and can use some hope for salvation, but also because we're coming up to Pesach, and Elijah has such an important role in the Seder as the one who does provide us with hope that the kind of redemption that the Israelites had in Egypt, that kind of redemption can come to us. And as unlikely as it seems to us in the most difficult times of our lives, that we can have an easing and comfort come into our hearts, That's how impossible it seemed to the Israelites when they were in Egypt. And if they could find their way and a path out of the narrow place in which they were stuck, then we too can find our way out of the narrow places, the difficult places that we are stuck.
Yasher koach. And I'm going to lead us in a slightly longer meditation than last time. Thank you for the feedback that we've received about the first session. It's really cool as we're trying to navigate our way through all of this to hear from you and hear what works. So I invite you now to find a comfortable seated position. You're probably in one already. Feel your feet on the floor. You can close your eyes, or you can find a soft gaze looking down. And bring awareness to your body's position in this present moment. Where are all the points of contact you can feel in your body? Where are your hands resting? Can you feel your eyelids over your eyes? Can you feel your seat? How are your feet feeling on the ground? Is the air that's touching your skin warm or cool? And then bring your attention to your breath. Notice where you feel your breath the most prominently. If it's the cool air coming into your nostrils, in the back of your throat. If you feel it in your chest or in your belly. Our body is always here in the present moment. Our thoughts sometimes race to the future or the past, but our bodies are here. And see if you can feel your whole body breathing and what that feels like right now in this moment. See if you can follow one breath, one whole inhalation from the beginning to the end, to that almost imperceptible moment of transition to the exhalation. See if you can follow that all the way through. And if you find that thoughts are bubbling up, that's fine. Just note what those thoughts are. Worry, planning. Kindly let it go. Find yourself back in your body. Feel your hands and your feet and your seat on the cushion. And come back to your breath with gentleness and patience. What's the quality of your breath right now without trying to change it? Is it shallow, deep, quick, slow? Whatever it is fine. But just notice. You have permission to rest in this moment of breath, right here in the present. Just follow one complete breath from the beginning of the inhale all the way through the exhale. Just one breath. Before we open our eyes again, just thank yourself for giving yourself this time to come back to peace and rest and presence. And when you're ready, please open your eyes if you feel like, or you can keep them closed. But we'll start singing.
Sipai evnei usharai charim visamtich saviv saviv basapirim Besamti kadchon shimshotayich mirim uvnei hayitzchar al rosh keshamayim. Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Hanavi Havena, Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Hanavi Havena, Poyetom Richbo, Naba Shivikivo, Lo Shachav Libo, Gam Lo Rashena, Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Eli Eliyahu, Hanavi Havena. Yomenai likdosh Yisrael tishena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena Matai Tareo Yeshael Korot Lachul Chanosot Kolan Vatikvena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena Halach HaKoel Lifnei Dashoel Anach HaElel Avraham HaKrena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Eli Eliyahu Hanavi Havena. And we're going to close our eyes for one more minute so we can find that place of presence and let this chant resonate in our bodies. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for being with us. Your presence is a gift. Rabbi Zeff, do you want to say anything before we close?
Just again to thank people for being with us. And we're going to next week be doing this on Tuesday rather than Thursday, since Thursday is the first day of Pesach. So we invite people to join us. It'll be on Tuesday at 2 o'clock rather than on Thursday. And that'll be the same the following week as well because of Pesach.
Okay, thank you.